Hi friends, good evening. Welcome to SQL Master YouTube channel. So I am Manju here. I am welcoming all you for my channel. So today the chapter is about schemas. So what are schemas here in SQL Oracle? So we learn about this one, schema. So before moving to start the video, one of my kind request is to subscribe to my channel to get more videos on SQL Oracle and ETL testing perspective subjects. So let us start the video. This is schema. What exactly mean by schema is here? So schema is nothing but it is a skeleton structure of database. Okay. So what do you mean by skeleton structure? It contains the database objects like tables, views, indexes, facts, dimensions. Okay, all these commonly called as database. Now in schema there are two types. You can say there are two types. One is called as star schema and another one is called as snowflake schema. Snowflake schema. So these are two types of schemas in SQL Oracle. Okay, then we come to know, then we study one by one here, like what is exactly the star schema is here. Okay, so this is star schema. What is exactly the star schema is here? So star schema is nothing but it is a centrally located fact table and surrounded by dimensions table. So this is what called as star schema. So these are the dimensions table. You can see here the centrally it is located fact table and surrounded by the dimensions. So this is what called as star schema because it looks like a star. So we call it as star schema. Okay. So here what is then snowflake schema here? So snowflake schema is this is snowflake schema, centrally located fact table and surrounded by dimensions table. You can see here this is what these are the dimensions, and again the dimension at the node of the dimensions, again it is distributed or spreaded into another dimensions. Okay, so this is what called as snowflake schema. Okay, as much as you want there are explored into other dimensions. So this is what called as snowflake schema. Okay, so you know the things like what is exactly the star schema and what is snowflake schema. So star schema is nothing but the centrally located fact table which is surrounded by dimensions. So it looks like a star, hence we call it as star schema. And what is snowflake schema? Snowflake schema is centrally located fact table and surrounded by dimensions table, and at the node of the dimensions, any dimensions, again it is exploded into many of the dimensions tables. So this is what called as snowflake schema. So I can write here some key points about star schema and snowflake schema. So first we know start about the star schema. What are the key points? So first point is centrally located fact table and surrounded by dimensions table. Okay, so this is what the first point, and second point is here tables are denormalized. So here tables are denormalized. So what is denormalized and normalized? Normalized means one table is there here and we can divide that into two tables. Okay, so one table which will be going to divide into two tables to minimize redundancy. To minimize redundancy. What do you mean by redundancy here? Redundancy is to avoid the repeated values. Okay, to avoid the repeated values, we can divide the tables into two or more tables. So we can avoid the things like again data is going to repeat. Okay, we don't want to repeat the data again and again. So for that purpose, we use the normalization. Okay, but in star schema, the tables are under denormalized. So the third point is joins and SQL queries. Okay, are simple here. under star schema. Joins and the SQL queries are very simple here. And the fourth point is execution of SQL query is performance is high here. Performance is high in star schema. So whereas in snowflake schema, if you consider snowflake schema, so that is nothing but the snowflake schema. Here the first key point is the fact table is surrounded by the dimensions table, and again dimensions tables exploited into another dimensions tables. Okay, so this is what the difference between star schema and snowflake schema. First key point. And second key point is the tables are normalized here. Are normalized. Okay, again I told you just before few seconds. Normalization means to dividing the table into more than two tables to minimize the redundancy. Okay, and the third key point is here the tables, so joins and SQL queries are complex here in snowflake schema are complex. Okay, so then fourth point is execution of SQL query performance is very slow here in snowflake schema. So I think you learned about schemas and star schema and snowflake schema. So what is the schema exactly here? Schema is nothing but it's a skeleton structure of the database which is containing the objects, database objects like tables, views, indexes, and facts and dimensions. These all and also entities. Okay, so these all referred to as schemas. Okay, in schemas we have two types: star schema and snowflake schema. Star schema is centrally located fact table surrounded by the dimensions, and snowflake schema is centrally located fact table surrounded by the dimensions, and again at the node of any dimensions, again it is exploited into many other dimensions. So it is called as snowflake schema. So I think you understood this concept here in this video. So if you really like this video, like it and subscribe to my channel. So I will be with you with more queries or concepts in future videos. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Take care.